Hey, so we're live. Tom Cassidy here. This is the Reasonable Eating Project, and what I'm going to be doing this week is Algorithm 8. It's the launch for this week's algorithm, and the algorithm is appropriately titled in a weird way, and it's actually Eat a High Nerd. And I love this idea. What does nerd mean in this context? Well, the N stands for nutrition, E stands for energy, R stands for ratio, and D stands for diet. So it's eat a high nutrition to energy ratio diet. And what I mean by that is if you're going to get calories from anything, make sure you get those calories from foods that have got a lot of nutrition as well, because then you'll get accompanying nutrition with the calories. If you get the calories from, say, pure glucose, pure sugar, you've got no accompanying nutrition. So you're basically screwed. You've got all your energy requirements met, but you've got no mineral and nutrition requirements met by your body. So it's kind of going to be a bit of a struggle. It's got the energy to do stuff, but it's got no raw materials to do it with. And it's really simple, you know. The energy component is the fuel you put in the car, but the nutrition component is the bits that the car's made out of. It's like, you know, the seats and the steering wheel and the moving parts of the engine and the wheels and all that sort of stuff. So it's no good just having the fuel. If you didn't have a car or any raw materials to actually make the body out of, then it wouldn't be much good to actually have all this fuel. Now what happens is the body needs the nutrition and will always get it. It will always make sure it gets it. But if you eat typically low nerd foods, low nutrition to energy ratio foods, what will happen is you'll have to eat way more of those foods to get the same amount of nutrition. The body needs to build itself. It can't stop. So it will make you keep eating because the actual food that you're eating has got such little nutritional value. So it's like really, really simple. Eat stuff that's got plenty of nutrition for the energy that you're ingesting. Okay, so I'm going to do a bit of a screen share on this one because I've actually done the document. It's all there. It's there in the Udemy course. It's there on the downloads. So algorithm number 8, eat a high nerd. Now this is what to eat. Okay, it's the second in the what to eat domain. The first was, did it grow into its shape? Well, fantastic. Most things that grew into their shape have generally got a high nutrition to energy ratio. Most of them, or many of them have. And this is the point. These algorithms are self-consistent. They mutually support each other. But what we're going to be thinking about in this is, okay, what sort of food groups or food types, examples, actually are the best to eat? So, I mean, I'm going to zip through this. You know, the obvious logical question is, you know, what would be better for you? 2,000 calories obtained from broccoli or from donuts? Why is it better from broccoli? Because the accompanying nutrition component in 2,000 calories of broccoli is greater than 2,000 calories of donuts. And this is the diagrammatic representation of it. You've got energy along the bottom here, okay, and you've got nutrition along the side there. Oh, just do that arrow there. There you go. And essentially, what we want to be doing is making the nutrition as high as possible, and in general, keeping the energy as low as possible. So we want to be in this quadrant: high nutrition, low energy. And you can eat these green foods. They're actually coincidentally green because it's green for go, green for good for you, and you know, the traffic light system. But you can eat these whenever you like. Then next best food would be high nutrition but high energy. So these have got a lot of nutrition, but they've got a lot of energy with them. Very occasionally you'd have these foods. The next quadrant to eat would be low nutrition, high energy. So you very rarely want to eat these. Low nutrition, high energy. For example, things like very, very sugary donuts, for example. I'm picking on donuts all the time, but there's a reason for that. And then finally, you should never eat anything from quadrant number 4. Just don't. Okay, so this is my food is mostly from quadrant 1. It's awesome. So examples of that would be vegetables and lean protein. Things like eggs, pretty good. They've got a lot of nutrition there, nutritionally dense. Protein is very nutritionally dense. If protein grew into its shape, you can eat it. Vegetables tend to grow into their shape. They're extremely good. What you want is the majority of vegetables in there would be kind of the green vegetables, the things like cabbages and Brussels sprouts and stuff like that. Then you've got in the next group, you've got things like fruit, actually, because fruit's got quite a lot of nutrition in it, but it's got a lot of sugar, so it's got a lot of energy as well, so it's not quite as good in the ratio terms. Even though it might have maybe more nutrition than, say, celery, it doesn't have the accompanying ratio, so it's got much more energy for the same amount of nutrition. You've got nuts in here, which have got a lot of nutrition, but they've also got a lot of fat, which is a lot of calories, a lot of energy. Beans, they have a fair amount of carbohydrates, which tend to be in general very energy heavy. Fatty protein, so you've got the protein, this is the difference. Lean protein is good for the ratio, fatty not so much. Dairy tends to be in here. And then it's not very good to eat things like bread, cake, donuts, pasta, rice, cereals. Not really very good at all. If you can avoid it, do. If you can't avoid it, eat it sparingly. If you have to. You don't have to do anything, of course, and you can get out of the habit of eating these things, but every so often from time to time. For example, my son was 5 today. We had a big party. We went out to a Texas-style kind of cowboy restaurant called Smith and Weston. It's a chain in the UK, and it's super lame for Texas standards, but it's actually quite good for England. And we had a plate of nachos. It's not the greatest food, but whatever. And then the kids had ice cream, and we're not going to stop them eating ice cream, and we're going to join in a little bit every so often. But the thing is, if you generally don't do those as part of your habit, then it's totally okay to do them once in a while. That's the whole point of this reasonable eating program. It's not crazy fanatical commando eating, it's reasonable eating. But the one thing that you can avoid at all times is any kind of sodas. Just don't ever, ever, ever drink those. And people that say, oh yeah, but I like soda, yeah, get over it. There's no need to like soda. It's a complete and utter waste of time. It's a complete and utter marvel of marketing. You might say, yeah, but I like it. If you really, really like it, just force yourself to not like it, because it's a complete disaster for you nutritionally and energetically in terms of the ratio. Complete and utter disaster. I'm really strong on very few things that are, absolutely adamant, don't do this, but one of them is any kind of soda, including diet drinks as well. Okay, and if you were scoring yourself, you'd in general give you 10 points for foods which are high nutrition and low energy, 7 points for foods which are basically a similar ratio. They've got high nutrition, but they've also got high energy. 4 points for low nutrition and high energy, and then 1 point, if you had to give yourself any points at all, 1 point for low energy, low nutrition. And that's another way of looking at it. And this is basically the only problem with it. It's more expensive. Yeah, that's the challenge. It's expense. Let's see if these links still work. These are the sorts of things that you should be, yeah, okay. Of course the link works, but you go to a different document. So I'm pretty sure that you're still here, yeah, okay. That's it. I'm not gonna get into too much detail. There's lots of links there in the document. Download it. I mean, it's the you've essentially got of the 4 domains now. You've got 2 of the 3 algorithms for each one. In how to eat, you've got chew until liquid and eat slow. In when to eat, you've got eat for hunger, not appetite, and eat until no longer hungry. So when you're no longer hungry, stop eating. In the why domain, you've got eat for the body and the taste buds. So eat stuff that you like and that's good for you, and eat for a long life. Plan to be around for the long haul. And then you've got in the what to eat, you've got the ones that we've just done. Did it grow into its shape and eat a high nerd? So that's it for this week. It's really, really simple. Just spend as much time as you can in quadrant 1. Look at the food you're eating. Is it high nutrition and low energy? Has it got a high nerd component? Eat a high nerd, and that's it. As simple as that. I've also got a an earlier version of this exact same talk that I did the previous cycle, which is quite good, and I'll post that link as well. But that's it, really. It's so, I mean, I'd love to say that it's ridiculously simple. There's the difference between being simple and being easy. It's not easy to change the habits of a lifetime. It's not easy, which is why we do them in the 13x4 system, and we do them very marginally. That's why reasonability works so well, because it's the marginal gains, and it's the one thing at a time that really makes the difference. Look, everyone knows what is a good thing to do and what isn't good to do, but if you don't try and do it in a steady, marginal way, one thing at a time, what will happen is 3 months down the road you'll be exactly where you started. You'll have got really good for 3 weeks, and then you just got out of the habit of it, and then poof, it's all gone. So this is the beautiful thing about this whole program, and it just does work. At the end of the day, I could say all the reasons why it works, but you don't actually care why it works. You just care that it works, and it does work if you work it, if you just do it. If you can find a simpler way to do things that works for the long term, do that. If you can't find a simpler way, just do this. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so I'm going to sign off now because I've got some other hangouts to do. And tonight we've had one birthday. My son, who is 5, Sam, it was his birthday today, and tomorrow is my birthday. So I don't want to be out too late tonight because we've got a big day tomorrow. It's a bank holiday in this country, in the UK. When you work for yourself, bank holiday doesn't mean anything really, because I decided not to work next week anyway. But what's nice about it is that other people aren't working on a bank holiday, so they can come down to visit us. So we've got a couple of great friends coming to see us. In fact, yeah, I think 3 or 4 people coming to see us for the day, which will be cool. Okay, all right, so that's me. Have a lovely week, and just keep focusing on the high nerd aspect of your diet. High nutrition, low energy. Okay, and we're done.